Why, hello there, friends. Greetings and welcome to this episode on Geeks First. Today, it's a very special day. Well, it's Heavy Hitters Day, and while this video is being filmed technically before the official release date, pre-release has been in full swing, and boy, it has been an exciting journey. Did you get to participate? I did. Let me tell you, it was a blast. So let's dive right in, and in this video, talk about why these Blitz decks are probably some of the best Blitz decks ever, and there's a hidden feature if you buy this brick. Alright, this video is going to be a little bit more unscripted because we're going to do a opening and review of the Heavy Hitters Precon decks, or in this case, the Blitz decks. You get 6 of them, and if you buy a sealed case or a sealed brick, you're going to get one of each of the heroes. So that's going to be Rhyner, Kayo, Casai, Olympia, Betsy, and Victor. And of those 6, because you get them, there's a hidden feature that I'll tease right now, that at the end of this, by just buying this one product, not only do you have basically a board game in a box, you have a UPF kit that you can bring to your local store or your kitchen table and have a blast. But one feature that no one has really talked about is because these contain 2 of each of the archetypes of heroes, so 2 warrior, 2 brute, and also 2 guardian, you can basically build 3 separate classic constructed decks out of these Blitz decks. So we're going to go ahead and begin this video by talking about, this will be a little bit more long form by the way, the individual decks themselves. So we're going to open those up and do a quick shuffle through of those, and then we're going to have a separate video talking about the process of combining 2 of these together in order to make the kind of the CC deck that I was referring to. And it is intriguing to see that they have also put some collectability back into these, because this is going to be the first iteration of Blitz decks since, I guess, forever, that have an extended art exclusive card that you can get in there. Now the heroes are rainbow foil, so unlike the Blitz decks that came out in Outsiders, where you had essentially no cards in there that were not available in the actual set. You basically could have built them literally with the cards from, well, I guess for lack of a better word, you could have built them directly from cards that came in Outsiders. There were no Blitz decks in Bright Lights. And then the one that I'm thinking of before that would have been, you have Monarch, and then you have the other ones going back from there. But this to me is a huge step forward in where the Blitz decks exist today. Now you do have History Pack 1 Blitz decks, and again, similar concept there. While those were a great product, they were all cards you could have technically built with just the straight cards from the initial I guess, cards within History Pack 1. There was nothing outside of the norm or unique. Now, again, back when you looked at the Monarch Blitz decks from, circa, oh my gosh, 2 years ago at this point, they had special cards in there like the Mentors that you really could only get there. So this kind of brings a special back to the game of Flesh and Blood. And I know that's been a lot of blabbing, and I appreciate that you're still listening. So let's dive right in and look at this stack of 6 cat hair decks, because I have a cat hair stuck to it. So we're going to go ahead and lay these out just for a quick conversation. Again, they come in this box that is actually, it's quite nice, to be honest with you. Not only the fact that this box, I'm going to talk about some silly stuff here, has a UPC so an LGS can ring it up. It has the, information about the game on the bottom of it. It tells you that there's 6 ready to play straight out of the box decks in here. It does talk about the classes Brute, Guardian, and Warrior. It gives enough information to get somebody interested, and honestly, the shelf presence of this just is phenomenal. So this, this is definitely a marked improvement in my opinion. Again, if you look at the Outsiders one, you look at the History Pack one, they did have a majority of those things, but just the draw of where it has this kind of like champions looking, to me, the art on this is a winner. So again, we have these 3 decks here and these 3 decks here. They're all going to contain the individual cards needed. So what we're going to also do is we're going to be sleeving this up using my box of random sleeves here, and I'm going to prep these decks as we go through them. All right, so we're going to roll this cute little resin dice that we've been working on. We designed this in Fusion 360, so this is a 1 resource, 2 resource, 3 resource, and then -1, -2 shield broke. So we're going to go resource, shield broke, and we're going to see which one of these we open first. 2, 1, 2, starting with Olympia, which I think is honestly the hidden gem in this set. I feel like he has a path that is destined for greatness. Now, how in the world do you open these? They do have, do they have a little pull tab somewhere? I thought they did. I see the little, this is live, folks. This is, oh, there it is. It's on the back. So you can use your thumb and pop this over and go like that. And once you get it started, oh, ASMR. There you go. Hope you enjoy that. I'll amplify that just for you. But yeah, this is, and I'll just leave the bottom on because we're not doing that. This is how the decks would come. So there's an outer seal, if you're curious, and then there is an inner seal. Now on these deck boxes, it is kind of interesting to note here. They do give, you know, live and die by the skin of your teeth. The stakes have never been higher. Prove your worth with the insatiable crowd, and for wealth, power, and the glory of the arena, ready to play out of the box. So they do have, they're different. Every one of these is a tad different, giving you maybe a little insight into how they go. And again, I still think even the artwork on these, sooner or later, you know, taking these and having, you know, them displayed is just going to look beautiful. Now, again, there's an inner seal on these as well if you've never had a Blitz deck. So welcome to my channel here. This is hopefully something that as a new player you'll get to experience. There's going to be probably an order to these, and you'll notice that in the back there's some tokens, and we'll see whether or not they did the same. Okay, cool. They did keep up with this difficulty card. I think this is one of the coolest concepts that they do. It's a little bit of a way to give you some insight into how the hero plays. Olympia is not a frugal hero. He's got no reason to create a stockpile of wealth, and there is more happy to crack a gold to power his, you know, rising speed or rising energy. Gold doesn't need a specific payoff to be powerful. Just fixing the heavy blue hand or finding a key attack can be the game changer. Prized Gala can make a attack targetable by take the upper hand at a critical juncture. Olympia thrives with excess of ability. Sometimes is worth taking a risky wager. So okay, this is they're ranking him at a 3 of 5 star, 3.5. So 2.5. Yeah, no, 1, 2, 3, 2.5 stars. So 50. They're saying he is the middle of the road person in regards to what we need. Now, when we flip this over here, you'll see we got the Olympia foil, and the foil pattern on these are quite nice. They do say OLA, so each of these decks is uniquely numbered. So even if you were to mix all these cards up, which again, kind of going back into my thought of taking the 2 warriors and making a CC deck, the 2 brutes making a CC deck, and the 2 guardians making a CC deck, you can definitely still put these back together, even if you sleeve them all the same type of sleeve. So here's your weapons. Looks like they gave you 2 one-handed weapons, the Parry Blade and the Centauri Saber. You have the Prized Gala, which is a warrior head. You have a Vigor Girth, which is a dual guardian and warrior equipment. Beckon Applause, flat trackers. Now, it looks like it starts with, this is number 10, so 7. Interesting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what 8 and 9 are because we have a wage. So we have a Blitz format, by the way, for those that are curious, is 2 of. Now, I don't know if this out of the bag, I'm just going to quickly shuffle through here. Are there any Majestics? No. So this could be also I need to double check. This could be legal in Clash, which is another format as well, because there are no Majestics. I need to confirm that. I'll see if I can put a little moniker here across that to showcase that. But we have the Wage Agility, Wage Vigor, and you'll notice that some of these, for newer players here, by the way, these are called dual class cards. It's a kind of a newer thing, came out in Outsiders, but they've carried that forward, and it allows the flexibility of these cards to be used in 2 different classes at once. So that's always a great benefit to have. Some cards, class specific, the whole game is revolving around classes, and some cards specifically work better maybe in one or the other, but this dual class mentality like Guardian and Warrior, Brute and Warrior, means that you'll see even in these pre-con decks some cards that will fit in both. So just kind of a neat little concept here. We got Rising Speed, Agile, Fate will take the upper hand. Okay, here are the unique extended art cards here. So this is Edge Ahead. So they're non-foil, but they are extended art. So that is a collectible piece for the collectors out there. Hold'em, Entangled Swiftblade, Lead with Speed. Here's Edge Ahead, again a second version of the pitch. And in Flesh and Blood, if you're not familiar, there are 3 pitch levels: red, yellow, and blue. Red typically being your more strong attack, yellow being your mid-range, and blue being more resource-oriented but maybe less strong. That's not always the case, but that's typically the pitch really is kind of indicative of what you can generate. So you'll see 3 resources, yellow is 2, and red is 1 resource when you pitch them. So typically what will happen is on the attacks, and I'll get one out here in a bit. So if we take, where'd it go? Give me a red, a yellow, and a blue. You'll see that the attack value, or in this case something on the card, so +1, +2, +3, red being the strongest, will showcase right there. So there's your 3, 2, 1, red, yellow, blue. So this is pretty sweet. And then at the very back, it looks like you're given a set of tokens here for the deck. You got 4 gold tokens, which are split between the agility and vigor. Now these are labeled as OLA, so they are again tied to this deck, even though they're just tokens. So in the future, when you're sorting cards, or somebody maybe looking at this down the road, you might just want to know that somewhere along those lines they created those unique cards. So that is Olympia. Next up, we got underneath it, we got Mr. Rhyner. Can I do it better this time? Look at that, I grabbed it first chance. Oh yeah, there we go. We're getting better at that. Ta-da! All right. Now, Rhyner says, even the bravest of warriors tremble like children as you prowl your new hunting grounds, an apex predator consumed by the thrill of the hunt. Now, for those that may not know, Rhyner is a returning hero, which originally debuted in Welcome to Wraith. Rhyner is actually kind of an interesting character in general, because I didn't necessarily play a lot with Rhyner and WTR. I did pick up Kayo, which came out in Crew, which there's another version of Kayo in here. But Rhyner is a brute, and he is savage, and he does have the same ability as the original brute. And also, fun fact, this is the same, brute that was in the Dory vs. Rhyner 2-player classic battles collection. So that's nice. Again, he is rainbow foil. Looks like they gave you a mandible claw as a single hand, and then the breaker ball as the other weapon. And then he has his rare Rhyner specialized headpiece, as well as a couple pieces of equipment here. I won't go ahead and continue to name these cards because the video will go a really long time. Suffice to say, they did actually use some reprints. Pack Hunt is a reprint, Bare Fangs is a reprint, so it's nice to see that they're leveraging older cards. These in this one have Bone Breaker Bellow. That is the extended art card for this one. and again, there'll be in all 3 pitches, and because these are Blitz decks, you'll have a set of 6 of them. And then here it looks like you're only going to have 3 tokens, might and agility. One of these, might, agility. And then it says difficulty 3 stars. Look at that. And then a bunch of tips and tricks. Mighty, wind up, agile, wind up, play critical role, dual role in your deck, buffing future turns. Let's see here, getting them to intimidate. So his tactic is intimidate. Basically, if you discard a card with 6 or more attack, you get to remove a card from your opponent's hand face down. They don't lose it, but they can't use it to block. So it kind of is like a way to boost your attacks once you meet that. And there's plenty of ways to discard cards in this deck. Beat chest is a new mechanic, and then that beat chest kind of gives you the ability to discard, which also triggers intimidate. So you have a boost and intimidate. It's kind of a nasty combo. Rhyner is his best when only pretending to discard at random. If you think carefully about the cards in your hand or the cards you've pitched earlier to set up yourself for success. So that is true. Basically, one of the things I did discover is you can very much pitch at random because it is random. But if you know your cards that you are pitching and you know the cards that are in your hand and they're all 6s, you have a 100% guaranteed chance of pitching a 6 because you know that they're 6s. So, all right, we have Betsy here. This is a new hero, new class. I'm just kidding, not new class. It is it's Guardian. But there's nothing satisfying as betting big, embracing the bombastic spectacle in the arena and the thrill of wager to win it all. Hello. Hi. Zelda has come to say hello. Now, Betsy. I didn't get to play Betsy in the pre-release, but Betsy served me on a platter. I was at like 13 or 14 health with Kayo, and Betsy came in with like I think it was like a 13 or 16 or 17 overpowered dominate. It was no matter what I did, I was a one-shot dead. So very tall, very interesting ability here with whenever you attack, you control wagers, you may pay 2. If you do, it gets +1 and overpower. So Betsy is coming in tall, meaning you're going to set your turns up and probably go with that. Now you'll see that you have a high riser and a shield. So this is an offhand. So if you look at the playmat below me, you have 3. Typically your hero would go in the one position and you would have your weapons located on either side if you had 2 one-handeds or if you ended up having an offhand like this. So you have the Betsy specialization, more of different Guardian cards. Again, we won't go into too much. You do see some generics starting to show up, so that's nice. I like the fact that there are generics in some of these. And then the extended art in Betsy's deck is money where your mouth is. So that's awesome. I'm glad that that exists. Looks like we get a reprint here. Lunging press. That's great. Bunch of tokens. They say that she's a 2 difficulty. Betsy's game plan offers 2 simple but effective approaches. Defend a bit and then set up a big boop or bigger than that. The big boop is really what did me in the pre-release. Massive and disruptive attack. That is very true. Use an attack with wager to put money where your mouth is alongside the hero ability to do some overpowered damage. Betsy knows how to spend her gold once she makes it. Having access to repeatable wager from Good Time Chapu means she always has the ability. Opponents never play around the lunging press. Yeah, that is true. Lunging press, because it's an attack reaction, means that you can just tip 1 over on me, and that's kind of, yeah, that can kill you, especially if you get down to very low health. All right, next up we have the other brute of the set, which is a hero revisiting us from the crew days, Kayo. Armed and dangerous, the iron law of the jungle, survive, adapt, and overcome. With your back against the wall, you become much more dangerous as your instincts take hold. So, Kayo. Kayo is what I ended up moving to in the two different games I played. The first pre-release, I did really much better than I had ever thought I would do. I got second of the, I think it was 15 or 16 players So that was impressive for me. And then the second pre-release I went to, I played Kayo again. My pool was a little bit weirder, and I made some critical play mistakes. And because I made those critical play mistakes, I ended up basically having a couple game losses due to that. So there's only 4 rounds, and I think 2 of the game losses were because I made a pitch card in a bad spot, and the other one was I played a card in the wrong order, not leaving me enough resources, or technically I guess I had the resources, but I played the attack first before I did the buff, and I screwed myself. So that was my mistake. It's a learning process, and that's really the point of this game, is you're gonna have to learn as you play. So I didn't get to play with many meat axe. I did play both of them with the I guess the claw, but because Kayo only has one hand, that's the the gimmick. He's missing an arm. You only get to have one weapon. So unlike being able to hold 2, you can only have one. So other cards in here, Bear Fang is a reprint. Wild Ride's a reprint. Looks like Agile Windup in this deck is the extended, so that's pretty. Rally the Rearguard's a reprint. Bear Fangs, Wild Ride, Agile Windup Yellow, Rally, Agile Windup, and then you got a couple tokens, and then they say he is a pretty simple 1.5 star. Thanks to his power, gives +1 on all combat chains. So that's the other thing with him, is cards to discard. You want to try to get 6s. So these 5 attacks in the deck are now counted toward the 6s when you are looking to trigger a card that says discard for a 6. So he has a lot wider card pool typically than like Rhyner would have. And yeah, so I had a blast playing this deck. Really awesome. I can't do it. I can't make it. There we go. Found it. Oh, yeah. Victor. So this is like Game of Thrones, but in the world of flesh and blood. Victor is apparently a pompous butthead. The Golden Sun. Cha-ching. Bring all your wealth and influence to bear as you enforce your will upon these bumbling fools. Might make right as your mightiest of them all. All right, so he definitely comes from some trust fund babies or something. I don't know. I didn't get to play against Victor in the pre-release. I don't think anybody really actually played him that I saw. Victor is definitely a interesting build. There is a lot of stuff where his game plan is, to me, a little bit unknown. At least at this time. So because you get to create gold, and the first time you'd fail you can clash, you basically can clash again. So he's really good at winning clashes. This Miller Grindstone, it kind of grinds away their deck. So I'm assuming that there is a great, process. This Golden Glare is a Victor special. There's probably a great process to make this kind of like a fatigue but mill, or like a old Magic the Gathering, like an old, discard cards from your deck kind of thing. But because he's a Guardian, you'll see lots of Guardian cards in here. Looks like Thunk is the extended art in this. Rally the Rearguard, again, a reprint. Let's see here. Performance bonus. Again, good to see some generic cards in these. And maybe they did that on purpose. So when I get to building this this combined to make a deck, maybe that's the secret sauce. Maybe that's how we can make it work. And then down here it says difficulty 2. When Victor might have the most punchable face in they really put it on here. While Victor might have the most punchable face in Wraith, you have to admit the guy knows how to win. Fair or otherwise. Cheat with Victor's ability to win clashes. Got it. Prioritize making gold. Victor has a ton of ways to get rich quick. Miller's Grindstone with no -1 counters is a very different threat, which has been worn away. Sometimes it's best to save your weapon for late game and know your opponent's deck is low on cards. So that is true, I guess, by using it later. If they've saved cards for the late game, you kind of battle it out and go and start whittling them down at the end. And last but not least, we have Casai, the hero that I think most people are excited to get an adult form of. Kasai, again, was a Crucible of War hero, but this is a different flavor version of Kasai, a different hero ability. On the path of vengeance. Years of exile driven by a singular purpose to seek revenge on the usurper, I know how to say that word, I'm impressed, who betrayed your father and reclaim your place amongst the warlords of Volcor. So definitely a hero I'm looking to experience. So you get the rainbow foil, and the ability here is if you've drawn a card this turn, your swords cost 1 less resource to activate. Once per turn, banish 2 red and 2 yellow cards from your graveyard. The next time a weapon you control hits a hero, create a gold token, go again. So this hero ability works really well when you have swords that cost 1 and then you can get them for free. So this is a very go wide style deck. Again, the specialization for this hero, inside of here you have warrior cards. So you'll see here the reason it counts as warriors because it's a dual class card, just like this one here. Got generics as well. Trade in, that's a reprint, which is a good card. Draw swords. That here is the card that is extended in this one. And honestly, this is what did me in one of the games at the pre-release. So I can see the power of the reactions and just pushing it right over the top. And they say that she is a 3-star. So all these decks are pretty beginner friendly, actually. Unlike some of the more fortunate Desitans of the Deathmatch Arena, Casai has to scrap and claw for every gold she can get her hands on. A lot of Kasai's power is unlocked by understanding when it's best to spend your gold. Draw swords is an indisputable best way to start your turn. Kasai, in conjunction with her ability, buffs resources on. Remember that when you buff, you only affect your warrior cards. That performance bonus or trade-ins isn't going to connect. It'll have to do so fairly. So yeah, it only buffs the warrior cards, not the other ones. All right. Need to make myself big. All right, that wraps up this quick unboxing and discussion of each of these 6 Blitz decks from the Heavy Hitters Blitz block. Now, I paid just over $65 for this. That's give or take about a little over $10. I think MSRP is $11.99. I'll put that here. Which is a great deal for these, honestly. Even if you wanted to pick up just 1 or 2, your favorite hero, it's easy to get in the game and try it out. They've really improved from the days of having to create, decks randomly from, say, your cards you have laying around to more so where we're at right now, which is where you can go out and buy 6 pre-constructed decks and not only, like I said, have a game on a shelf, but you have the opportunity to combine these and create more interesting decks, which again, that will be a video coming out shortly after this one. Now, another video I will be going over is I have my 6 packs right here of Heavy Hitters, and this is going to emulate a sealed pool. We're going to talk through how I would create a sealed pool with those cards. So hopefully those 2 videos will be of some interest to you. And like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for more content. Can't wait to get in and do that. And then just enjoy that you're going to get to see Heavy Hitters. And if you happen to hit the Fabled, it's a really slick card. I won't spoil it for you because I don't want to be that person. But if you've seen it, you know what it is. And it is definitely one of those cards that if you get it, you're going to be just chef's kiss. It's great. So thanks. And until next time, may your games be fun and your friendships grow. Cheers. Your captain.